Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is the one mistake Kawhi Leonard must not repeat this season. So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, be sure to check out our Dreamerspro Podcast, which we have linked in the description below. And also be sure to be on the lookout for our premium platform that we're launching in the first week of January. We'll keep you guys posted on that. Anyway, let me just get back into the topic here. So this is a pretty serious topic I want to get into. And I'm dead serious about some of the things I'm going to cover in this video, because it's something I've been thinking about. And it's something that cannot be repeated this year. It just can't be repeated, right? It cannot be repeated because it's not a recipe for success. If they end up doing this thing again this year, it's going to be a disaster, and I'm just going to call it. Now, last season, Kawhi Leonard had a very good season, regular season, for the Los Angeles Clippers. Averaged 27 points per game, which is a career high, 7.41 rebounds, 4.9 assists. So he has some pretty solid numbers. He shot 47% from the field, 38% from the three-point line. Yes, 87%, 89% from the free throw line, and got you 1.8 steals. And in the playoffs, he did even better. He had even better numbers. Now, however, in the playoffs, we all know that after the whole hype and, you know, we're going to win the NBA title, the whole battle of LA kind of thing, they went into the NBA bubble and dropped the 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets. Now, let me just say the Denver Nuggets were a very good team, right? They were a very good team. They went out there by mistake. But I still believe to this day that the Clippers were a better team than they were. But they blew it. Let's just face it. You go up 3-1 and you blow a 3-1 lead. You blew it. And the team beat you. And they fell short. In the offseason, all of us started coming up with different reasons why we thought they lost. Was it a lack of leadership? Was it a lack of chemistry? And all of those things probably are true, right? It's a combination of all of those things. Since this new season has started, a lot of these players have been questioned on it. Kawhi Leonard has spoken to the fact of, yes, I need to improve as a leader, meaning I need to get guys more involved on and off the court. We need to hang out more together, build team camaraderie, which is something LeBron James does an excellent job at. But it actually works. Like actually hanging out with your teammates after work in a team sport, it actually works. It's not like some kind of platitude, like, you're hanging out. No, it really does work. If you look at Marco and I, we went to college together, but we used to hang out. We used to go running a lot, go to the gym a lot, train a lot. So you build a chemistry with guys. Think of the Boston Celtics team that won their title in the first year with Kevin Garnett, the Big Ticket, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce. The truth, these guys were like brothers. They went everywhere together, and they just really bonded, man. It was just like a squad of these guys, and they really became a close unit. So when they went through the playoffs, if you remember their first round, when the Atlanta Hawks took them 7 games, because these guys was such a close unit, they were able to get through that, right? They were tested and they got through it. And I'm sure when things got tough, because these guys were already brothers, number one, you could be honest with each other without taking it personal, because, listen, if something is going wrong on the basketball court and I'm telling you what I think, it's not a personal attack. But if you guys don't have a relationship off the court, then people may tend to take things personal on the court, right? So building the chemistry off the court makes a lot of sense. It actually works. So it's not like somebody says, build your team. No, it actually does make a difference. And that's why you're seeing Kawhi be a little bit more vocal, being a little bit more welcoming with his teammates, at least in some of the footage that I've seen in the preseason. Now, let's talk about the mistake that he must not repeat this season. Kawhi Leonard must make it clear from the very start this season that he is the number one option on this team. He needs to make that crystal clear, right? At the end of games, the opposing team and the Clippers, everyone needs to know, everyone in the building must know where that ball is going to, whose hands that ball is going to be in. Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers last season did a lot of your turn, my turn. Your turn, my turn. They did a lot of Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Lou Williams, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. That cannot happen this season. You're the best player on the team. You're the best offensive player on the team. You have the most experience. You're the most feared player by opponents. You're the hardest player to guard. The ball needs to be in your hand. Last season, it was a lot of my turn, I shoot, then I'm going to run to the side, and then Paul George will go out there and shoot, and then Lou Williams will take a shot. The problem with that is, number one, Paul George is not a skilled closer. He can probably do it in the regular season. He's never done it in the playoffs. Number two, Lou Williams, yes, he can close games, but he can also shoot you in the foot a lot of times. He can shoot you in games, and he can shoot you right out of games in the same sequence. He's done that a lot. Like, Lou Williams will have a lot of untimely turnovers. Kawhi Leonard needs to make it clear. Lou Williams, the head coach, needs to make that clear, right? They need to know that late in games they're running their offense through Kawhi. Now, obviously, you can use him as a decoy. We all understand that happens a lot. To be quite honest with you, it happens a lot, but he needs to be the number one option. Like, literally, I'm not even joking about that. Now, let's look at other instances where that's worked. Think of Kobe and Powell with those Lakers. It was Kobe, Powell, Lamar Odom, and everybody else. Everyone knew at the end of games who the ball was going to. It was going to be Kobe. Let's think about Jordan and Pippen. At the end of games, everyone knew who the ball was going to, and it was just a matter of the defense trying to stop him. Now, obviously, Jordan sometimes, because he drew a double team, he can now create mismatches on the floor, leave other open players. He can be a decoy. That happens a lot. But Jordan was a closer. Jordan was a closer. Kawhi Leonard is a closer. He didn't close last series with the versus the Denver Nuggets, but he's done it many times before. If you don't need to go too much further than 2 years ago with that entire playoff run. So he is a closer, and he needs to be the closer. If you think of Kobe and Shaq, right? Shaq, some people would have argued he was the better player on the team, but when it came closing time, y'all know who the ball was going to. It was Kobe. Kobe was the main primary ball handler at the end of games. We cannot have this repeat of, okay, Paul George is going to come up there and shoot, because we've seen that Paul George seems to get tight late in games. We saw that in the playoffs last season. But it's not like as if that was the only time. It's happened many times before. I've never seen Lou Williams close out a series, multiple series back to back. I've seen Kawhi Leonard do that. I saw him do it against the Philadelphia 76ers. I saw him do it against the Milwaukee Bucks. I saw him do it against the Golden State Warriors in the finals 3 consecutive times. So he needs to be their number one option late in games, man. He cannot afford this thing of, okay, let everybody get a shot and let's all do kumbaya to get. It cannot happen. They need to have a clear pecking order. And Gilbert Arenas pointed to this recently when I heard some of his comments. He said there was no closer. Who was the leader of that team, right? Who's the one late in games that everybody knows the ball is going to? I think Kawhi Leonard needs to make that. It's not about hurting somebody's feelings. It's just the simple fact you're the best player on that team, number one. You're the most clutch player on that team, number two. And you're the only player on that team that can seriously not be guarded. And you're not going to be guarded by the defender, or you're not going to take yourself out of the game mentally. It can happen to other players on your team, but it can't happen to you. So for me, he must, and when I say he must, they must make it clear, because this is something that actually works. Remember the first season with the Miami Heat with Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. That first season, they were still trying to figure out whose team is it, and you saw what happened, right? Until D Wade went to LeBron and said, listen, it's your team. And the moment that was clear, that D Wade made that concession to LeBron, they started winning titles. That needs to be clear from the jump. It's either the players are going to do it, or the coaching staff is going to do it. But it must be clear. They can't do this tit for tat. I go, you go, you go. I don't think it's going to work, and that's something that I think they need to address, and Kawhi Leonard must address going forward in this season. So, what I want to know from you guys is, do you agree with me that Kawhi Leonard should be the de facto closer for the Clippers, or do you think they should keep doing this tit for tat thing? Paul George, you go. Lou Williams, you go, and then Kawhi goes. They can just keep alternate between each other. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the next video that we have linked at the end of this video. I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy that, and check out some of the other videos on our channel. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day. Peace.